Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Savidan, Jai Bharat. Today is Sunday, and as all of you know, every Sunday we are organizing special discussions in English. And today also we are going to we had organized a very special talk, and that is related to Sant Kabir. As all of you know, Sant Kabir was a great revolutionary social thinker, social revolutionist, and he had done a lot. But as far as the literature is considered, very less literature is available in English. And as far as his social involvement is considered, it requires a little interpretation. So today we are going to discuss about him, and we are going to discuss about his social revolutionary movement. So basically, Sant Kabir. So Sant Kabir, as it is told normally, he is one of the pioneer in social reformation and liberation and harmony. And he belongs to almost he's a product of 15th century. So the special presence of the creator in the human society has always been proved by the emergence of saints and sages, and especially from the common folk. Their life and message have contributed greatly to the ongoing reformation of the human society towards social harmony. One of the most significant of such great men was Sant Kabir, and he is also known for pioneering the unique Sant tradition, because in almost the 15th century, if we see 15th, 16th century, it was a tradition of Sant movement, saint movement, or Bhakti movement, sometimes it is called. He was not merely a traditional icon of holiness, but was a living legend of spiritual achievement and social renaissance, two in one. The perennial contribution to the reconstruction of social life of Kabir was so immense that it makes him a great stalwart of social harmony. As I told, Sant Kabir is the product of 15th century and he belonged to a Zulaha community. He supported himself and his family by very hard work, and hence wasn't a traditional monk who were living at the mercy of others, because there are many monks who were living as a monk, but they were not fully devoted towards their work. Though he lived in Kashi, and as we know, Kashi is a stalwart of Brahmins, orthodoxy, and a lot of it was a learning center for Kashi, and Banaras is more as a learning center of Brahmins. And there was one of the belief also, because he lived his life throughout his life, he lived to tell the common man the truth. And though he lived in Kashi, he had gone up to Meghar towards the end of his life in order to challenge the traditional belief, that there was one traditional belief that to die in Kashi would merit entry to the heaven, and to die in Meghar would lead to a hell. So he wanted to counter argument this, and he started his movement from Kashi and went up to Meghar, and he challenged each and every aspect, or every phenomenon that was existing during his time. So Sant Kabir was not scientifically educated, but had a wise insights and was a revolutionary. His thinking was practical as well as radical. He was a saint, he was a poet, he was a mystic, and he was a great thinker. Not only this, he was a social reformer. He was genuine with his experiences. Whatever he was talking with his experiences, and he was bold enough with his expressions as well. Whatever he experienced, he was bold enough to talk in front of anybody, either it is a Brahmin or any common man. He was a man of the people, and he spoke the dialect of the common man. Whatever the language the common man was speaking, he was speaking in the same language. So it was very common that a common man could understand what he wanted to say. He moved with them, he taught with them, and lived with them. Weaving was his profession. As I told, he was a belonged to Julaha community. So weaving was his profession, and weaving the human society into a well-knit human network in all facets with his life mission. So as a part of Julaha community and weaving community, he bonded the common man with well-knit human network, with his speeches, with his poems, with his writings, and with his hymns and verses. He made such a good network of people that everybody was greatly impressed on him. So in the 15th century, as we know, Banaras was the seat of Brahmin orthodoxy, and it was their learning center. Brahmins had a strong hold on all the spheres of the life in this city. Thus, Kabir, as he was belonging to the low caste of Zulaha, and he had to go through an immensely tough time of preaching his ideology because it was entirely against the predominant Brahmin orthodoxy. Kabir and his followers would gather at one place in the city and they were meditate, they were having discussions, they were having how to spread the reality within the society. They were discussing about this, and Brahmins ridiculed him for preaching to prostitutes and other low caste also. So as he was not only involving with the common man, but he was also preaching to prostitutes. So it was against the Brahminical system, and they were against him. Sant Kabir, he was a mystic poet, and his thoughts and words were revolutionary for his times, and his beliefs put him at odds with the established clergy, which was trapped in dogma and orthodox practices. His verses and couplets have been recorded in the Guru Granth Sahib also, one of the prestigious holy book, as it is told. So in this Guru Granth Sahib, there are almost around 227 padas in 17 ragas, 541 hymns, and there are almost 231 shlokas of Sant Kabir in Guru Granth Sahib. So we can see how deeply his wordings, his sayings, his rhymes, his hymns are included as a part of the Guru Granth Sahib. So such a revolutionary, his thinking was such a revolutionary. Kabir's poem, normally it were in the local language, and it were normally in the vernacular Hindi language, and it were borrowing from various dialects, including the Braj language, Bhojpuri language, and Awadhi language, which was commonly a common man language. So whatever he was speaking, it was very easy for a common man to understand. Kabir laid stress on religious toleration and taught a lesson of brotherhood to all the indigenous people. He was to wander here and there, and he used to tell the spirit of brotherhoodness among all the indigenous people. He raised his voice against the custom of sati pratha also and child marriage also, the two evils which were purely social in character. So whatever the social system was there, he challenged that system, and he raised his voice against the custom of sati and child marriage. He campaigned against evil forces like selfishness, hypocrisy, discrimination, exploitation, manipulation, suppression, and fatalism. So all were the forces and pillars of Brahmanism, and these all forces he used to challenge, and he campaigned against these existing systems. He was genuinely committed to reforming the society. His only aim was to bring reformation in the society, to challenge each and every system that was existing. He emphasized personal values like genuineness, honesty, sincerity, love, service, and respect. He was a saint, and he should be a devout, wise, truthful, gentle. He was pure, noble, generous, and serviceable, as well as having faith, good conduct, and the like. True holiness is simply the presence of the God reflecting itself in the goodness of the person's character and action. So he was reflecting God within human being, within person's character, how persons behave, how persons act, his actions. So he used to tell the people that God is within yourself. You see within yourself. So Kabir had all the qualities of a great saint, and his composition for upliftment and harmony is important part of our history, culture, and civilization, which is not very easily available in the literature. But we have it's a challenge. We have to see between the lines how Kabir had revolted against the existing system, and how people stand behind him, whatever he told. He hailed from the so-called lower strata, as I told, of the caste-ridden society of his time. Belonging to the discriminated lot of general public, he voiced the cries and sentiments of the voiceless, represented the taste, needs, and aspiration of the masses, and he shared their problems, struggles, and life situations of the ordinary people, and that is the reason he was liked by the common folk for his genuineness and admired for relentless search for the divine. He presented a very simple form of bhakti and spirituality which was appealing to the people. Everybody liked that one. Kabir spoke in a dialect of a general public. His utterances were spontaneous, poetical and musical, simple, straightforward, and colloquial. To attempt the popular dialect for communication when Sanskrit was monopolized at that time for all knowledge and the media of official communication. It was a revolution that Santa Kabir pioneered such activities. So when Sanskrit was predominant during this time, and most of the literatures and everything was in Sanskrit, so he challenged that particular available literatures, and he responded to that literature within his own language and a language of a common man. Though such an approach, he whispered volumes of spiritual messages to the hearts of the general public. His lines are often found ready to the at the tips of the tongues of the people. Till today, also his rhymes are remembered. One of the rhyme, which is in Hindi, like बुरा जो देखन में चला बुरा ना मिला या कोई जो दिल खोजा अपना मुझे बुरा ना कोई. So it means that when I started to look for evil, I couldn't find any. When I started to look inside my heart, I found no one was worse than me. This door tells the reality, and whatever we find something wrong being done, we start to point out fingers and blame people for that. If you really start to find someone who is bad, you will not find anyone but start to look inside yourself. Your inner self is bad and no other. So he used to tell the common man that you have to analyze yourself instead of finding blames in others, instead of pointing the fingers on others. So we can see with such a small two lines how effectively he tried to convey his message to the common man. He was involved in numerous discussions along with Brahmins also, and finally concluded that Brahmins were never such a people who didn't wanted any changes in the system. They always want to remain under the shelter of the Shastras created by them. Speaking about religion, he said, religion is a double-sided phenomenon. On one hand, it is a system of faith which takes care of spiritual factor in life. It is supposed to be an agent of all pervasive liberation. But on the other hand, the followers get enslaved. So with the help of religion, the followers get enslaved to a certain perspective, an interpretation, a code, and a ritual expression. So it is a certain type of conditioning. Whatever we are telling that you adopt, accept. So it is a sort of condition. It is intended to unite human beings, but nothing else has divided the human society so appalling as religion. So we even today also we see that in the name of religion, lot of things are happening. The worst of the wars and tension in the world have taken place in the name of religion. The institutionalized and sophisticated details of the religious systems have made the spiritual journey of the followers not only bothersome but also next to impossible, and in many aspects. There are large numbers of self-styled leaders who claim to have anointed to rule over the people. They have no scruple in manipulating the religious fabric in order to suit their personal and private interest. So religion is being used for years to enslave others, and instead of behaving the same, instead of considering them as the same, they are considering as a degraded and upgraded society. So though in the name of religion, everybody is called as Hindu, but if we see the actions, it is not the same actions. It is the two people are not same as far when the it is conditioned acceptance. They are not same when the rights are considered. So Kabir says pseudo orthodoxy and discriminatory attitudes is based on this caste, class, this language, ideology, profession, sect, etc., and they gain undue power. No wonder the general public feels pushed aside. It is obvious that religious system fail to maintain the social equilibrium. So with the help of religion, there is no social equilibrium that do exist in the society. Experience is personal by its very nature. Personal pertains to the core of one's being. When processed by one's own personal involvement, experience becomes genuine and reliable. That is precisely what Kabir means when he says "Un- unbhaisaj." Means he mean to say experience is the true, and true experience is personal. He does not rely on lekha likhi, whatever is written in the shastras, whatever is written anywhere. Don't believe on that. what is written or what is narrated by others. Don't believe in that, but you believe on your own eyes, what you see by your own eyes. He used to say, तू कहता कागज के देखे मैं कहता आंखों के देखे. So he used to say, don't believe on whatever is writing, believe in yourself, believe in your eyes, what you see, how the discrimination occurs, how others behave with yourself. So A exhorts, you think of yourself, you think of your experience, then you will become wise. So आप बिचारे सो ज्ञानी हो, you yourself are intellectual. He used to say, every individual common man, that you yourself are intellectual. Don't believe on what others say. According to him, seeing, hearing, and touching the reality oneself, thinking and feeling it oneself, experiences and knowing it oneself gives one joy. That is the special thing of oneness. He continues, the story of love is indescribable. Hardly anything can be said about it. It is like a duck person who has taken jaggery and is not able to express what he or she feels about it, but just smiles that would amount to experience defies expressions. Even before Baba Sahib, it was Kabir who pointed out that dividing men into caste does no good to them and that all forms of life are impure for Brahmins. He instead considered animals to be better than humans. His knowledge was extensive and did not divide men into categories as the Hindu social order or the existing Brahmanical system, social system was considered. It was a degraded society. So he was very well aware of human emotions and succeeded in incorporating them into his poems. So he's totally challenged the existing social system. There are many similarities if we see between Dr. Ambedkar and Sant Kabir. Both were staunch opponents of Brahmanism and both opened the doors to growth and progress for the deprived caste, for the indigenous people. Both faced almost the same kind of challenges in their lives. There is an uncanny resemblance between Kabir and Baba Sahib. Although both are almost 500 years apart, for both of them, the understanding of the religion was a critique of prevalent norms and customs. Both in their early lives had denounced the order that was divinely ordained and followed a more mystic, natural, and secular path. It is through them that the anti caste narrative emerged. So he fought against the anti caste system that was involved during the time. The ideals were questioned, both of them were questioned, and practices were overthrown. In their own ways, both Kabir and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar defied customs and rules of highly discriminatory social order. It wasn't just Kabir's philosophy that drew Babasaheb to him, but it was also the identical social and religious ambience of the times and the eras they lived in. Quite a few scholars consider Kabir's work to be part of the downtrodden literature. Dr. Ambedkar today is remembered through songs and poems which narrate his teachings and texts. Indigenous literature forms an integral part of the belonging for the community that has been left out for so long. Whether or not Kabir and his works are part of the same genre and or narrative, they still are the classic example of defiance and struggle against the norms. Kabir never accepted the Brahmin as his leader, though the Brahmin considered himself the teacher of the entire world. He used to say, Brahman Guru Jagat ka sadhu ka guru nahi, urji purji karmari raya, charyo veda nahi. On the superiority of Brahmin, he says, if you say you are a Brahmin, born of the mothers who is a Brahmin? Was there a special canon through which you are born? So he used to say to the superiority of the Brahmins that is there a difference between the natural process through which you are born and the others are born? So he challenged Brahmin superiority. How then you can be different than others? You are also born through the same process as the others are born. So how different? How you consider yourself as a different? Such a way he challenged them. Kabir wrote about oneself, about everyday life. That is what gave his work a significant charm. He supported ordinary living as propagated by the Sufi Santas. What was also evident is that Kabir was a staunch anti-caste writer and questioned Brahminical hierarchy and practices. For Kabir, religion wasn't faith that could be compartmentalized into Hindu or Muslim. He drew from both the religious and criticized them too. For instance, he often shunned practices of idol worship and mocked the practice of praying to avatars. His argument was that these masters didn't put down evils. Instead, he encouraged people to consider one another as manifestation of God. He rejected hypocrisy and misguided rituals in religion. As is clearly evident, he used to say, Hindu and Muslims don't want disciplines, they want tasty food. The Hindu keeps the 11th day fast, eating chestnut and milk. He curbs his gain, but not his brain, and breaks his fast with meat. The Turk prays daily, fasts once a year, and crows God, God like a cock. What heaven is reserved for people who kills chickens in the dark. Instead of kindness and compassion, they have cast out all desire. One kills with the chop, one lets the blood drop. In both houses burns the same fire. Turks and Hindus have one way, the Gurus made it clear. Don't say Ram, don't say Khuda, so says Kabir. So in such a poetic form, he used to explain people in their own common languages. In one of the poems, he also says the donkey is far better than a Brahmin, dog is better than their other caste. The cock is better than mullah, they wake the people by that blast. So such a way he used to tell. Even for some of the activists people, he used to say, Kabir खड़ा बाजार में लिए लुखाटी हाथ जो घर फूके आपनो चल हमारे साथ. So he used to say, those activists who are self-declared leaders and constantly focusing on oneself, on me, or they used to say, I believe on me. Whatever I say, believe it, and don't ask questions. They are self-centered. So for them, he is telling they should leave their ego and join institutional leadership and organizations. He used to tell these people should focus on aims, ideology, and objectives of the organization. They should work for the society and sacrifice their personal aims and objectives, personal gains. So you should not focus on your personal things, personal life, but you should focus on brotherhoodness. You should focus on your common things that is helpful to others. Even one of the concept that was floated by Sant Kapir on Amar Deswa. So he used to tell about Amar Deswa. So Kabir's Nirgunvad was against sanctioning holy tributes to social elements. So he was not sanctioning holy tributes to them. It was Kabir's logic and reason that led Dr. Ambedkar to Buddhism. He could never develop respect for any Hindu saint. It was Kabir's Nirgunvad that took Ambedkar to atheism. Some may find his assertion unbelievable, but it is true. Kabir's Nirgunvad may on the surface appear theological, but in reality it is atheistic. It is only theology that rejects the concept of heaven and hell. He doesn't believe in rebirth. He doesn't believe in salvation. He doesn't believe in incarnation. He doesn't believe in puja, pilgrimage, fasting, and has no faith in any scripture, which other theologies does do it. Kabir's Nirgunvad urges people not to believe in fate and scriptures. So he used to say, believe in yourself. Don't believe in others. Don't follow others. Don't follow or obey what others says. There is nothing like that. If you look into yourself and behave like a brotherhood with other people, then definitely it will lead to a society with equalness, with brotherhoodness. So his concept of Amar Desava was such a place where everybody is happy, where everybody is living happily, where nobody is thinking of superiority or degrading to others. So everybody is equal. So his concept of Amar Deswa was in such phenomena of such thinkings. He used to say, "कौन मरे कौन जन्मे भाई, स्वर्ग नरक कौने जाति पाए, पंचात अविगत थे उत्पन्न, इकाई किया निवासा, बिचुरे तत पिठी सहाजी समना, रेख रही नहीं आसा, जल में कुंभ में जल है, बाहरी भीतर पानी, कुते कुंभ जल जलिय समाना, यह तत् काहो ज्ञानी, आधे गन्ना आंते गन्ना मधे गन्ना भाई, कहे कबीर कर्म is किस लागे झूठे संक उपाय. So it was he who used to tell that basically you have to believe in reality, in your own experience. There is no swarg, there is no nark, there is nothing like swarg and nark. Whatever you do, if it is helpful to others, yeah, it is basically create happiness within you. So such type of in his writings, he reflects his philosophy. Nirgunwad influenced Ambedkar deeply, and he discovered the same kind of logic in Buddha's philosophy. Baba Sahib saw in the following verses of Kabir the preaching of Buddha to Kalams, in which Buddha had emphasized realized knowledge rather than spiritualism and religion. He used to say, "Mera tera manua कैस एक होए रे, मैं कहता हूँ आंख देख, तू कहता कागज की लेखी." He used to say, basically, कागज लेखी negates scripturalism and individualism. Basically, whatever is written in the Shastras and whatever it is in the literatures. But don't believe in that. Instead of that, believe in aakhe dekhi. Means whatever you see with your naked eyes, believe in that, and that will give the real knowledge to you. You interpret what you see. You interpret what you experience with others, within the society, and based on that, you take your own decision. So similar was the philosophy of Buddha. He used to say, believe in yourself. Don't believe in others. When the God does not have any varna, how can man have one? Kabir argued. He put forth a very scientific argument. Nati sarup varna nahi jaake, jati jati, ghati ghati rahiyo samai. Kabir said, what Buddha had said centuries earlier. एक बूंद एक मलमूत्र एक चम एक गुदा एक गोट से सब उत्पन्न तो ब्राह्मण को सुधा. When Ambedkar said that no caste is pure, when he said that there was an admixture of allied blood, not only among the warrior classes, the Rajputs and Marathas, but also among the Brahmins, and so no one can be Brahmin or Shudra. When he said that Brahmins and the untouchables belong to the same stock, was he not taking Kabir's argument forward? When Dr. Ambedkar asked the Vedas and Shastras to be destroyed by dynamites, was he not repeating what Kabir was saying? So both ideological thinking philosophies of both Kabir and Dr. Baba Ambedkar is in line. And Kabir also used to say to Brahmins, "Ved kite bajat chadi dev pande ek sab man ke brahma." So the line of thinking is same. How in one way he said, Dr. Ambedkar said, Vedas and Shastra should be destroyed by dynamics. In the similar way, Kabir also is speaking. So when Ambedkar criticized Hindu saints for saying that God and humans were equal but not using their voice against the inequality between the man and the man perpetuated by the caste system, was he not echoing Kabir, who said that one who had not given up caste and varna wouldn't perform bhakti? So Kabir also used to say, one who had not given up his caste and varna couldn't perform bhakti. He cannot do bhakti with the caste and varna keeping in his mind. Kabir is then seen as rejecting the very idea of caste and untouchability. Kabir not only challenged the authority of the institutional structure of caste and religion, but attacked the very ideology upon which they were founded. While arguing that touch is the essence of our existence, he argues that Brahmin, Shudra, Muslim, Hindu, etc., everybody is born through the touch. Therefore, one can say that Kabir was arguing for an equal moral worth of an individual, and though this he sought to unite humanity. So, if we see specifically with this overall movement, his sayings, his challenges, his arguments, we can see that it can be concluded that Kabir's idea of equality was very much political and social in nature. Not only he was arguing a case for basic equality, but simultaneously envisioned the city of love where everyone was equal. So he preached equality. Buddha also preached equality. So all our forefathers preached equality, and they fought for equality among others, spreading brotherhoodness among others. So the idea of selfless love and devotion towards God actually burned the walls of discrimination because it is sought to bring every individual on the same plane. So at last, Kabir used to say, if you want the truth, I will tell you the truth. Listen to the secret sound, the real sound, which you is which is inside you. So this is how he told you should look inside you. You should not look on others. You will have to believe on yourself. And definitely, once you start thinking in this particular direction, then definitely it will give the correct picture, it will give the correct experience, it will give the right thinking, interpret in such a way that such type of equality prevails in the society, such type of brotherhoodness is created in the society, such type of society is created of Amar Deswa, where everybody is equal, where everybody has no, there is no superiority among the society, among humans. So all humans are equal. So in such type of society should be created. So such a revolutionary thinking was of the Kabir. So on his birth anniversary today, let us make up our mind to spread this ideology of equality of Sant Kabir among our brothers. And with that, we end this today's session. Thank you very much for watching MNT Network. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat.